The Anardhapura cross is the symbol of Sri Lankan Christianity, and dates back to the Anardhapura period, 377 to 1017 AD. Christianity first arrived on the island in 72 AD, after St. Thomas the Apostle traveled there from India. The first Christians in India were Jews who had been living there since the time of the Babylonian exile, as well as hundreds of Brahmin converts from the upper caste of Hindu society. Though much is unknown about Christianity in the country prior to Portuguese contact in 1505 AD, Christians there likely had a connection to the much larger Nasrani Christian community in Kerala, India. For 1,000 years, between the 5th and 16th centuries, Christians in India and Sri Lanka were in communion with the much larger Assyrian Church of the East, at the time stretching from as far west as Syria to as far east as China, and as far north as Siberia. Christians in South Asia have had contact with the West for millennia. In the 4th century, a man called Theophilus the Indian came to the court of Emperor Constantine in Rome. Theophilus was from the Maldivian Islands, at the time a Buddhist nation like nearby Sri Lanka. Theophilus was ordained as a bishop by the Roman emperor and sent to construct churches in southern Arabia, which lasted until they were destroyed in the 6th century. Contact between Western and South Asian Christians continued. In 883 AD, King Alfred the Great in Wessex, England, sent an embassy to the Christians of South Asia, and Marco Polo is said to have visited them in 1292 AD. After the expulsion of Christians from Ming China and genocide against Christians in Central Asia and Persia, the isolated Christian community in South Asia remained as the only Christian community in the world that was east of Persia following the 14th century. Despite this, the church remained in communion with other churches in the West. Today, the Malankara Syrian Orthodox Church in India is in communion with the 5 other Oriental Orthodox churches, which includes the Coptic Orthodox, Syriac Orthodox, Armenian Apostolic, Ethiopian Tewahedo and Eritrean Tewahedo Church. In 1505 AD, the Portuguese introduced Catholicism to Sri Lanka, and the last king of Kadi, Dharmapala, converted to Christianity from Buddhism. Later, Protestantism arrived with the Dutch in the 17th century. Today, about 7.5% of Sri Lanka is Christian, the 4th largest religion